In the interest of full disclosure, here is every play I was involved with yesterday. As you know from watching the morning wager, Campbell did not cover against Northeastern. That was my half of the double play. I liked Northeastern. I had a loss and a push with my Europa League plays for the clients, Mark Zinno, and our show best bet was unsuccessful. Have I now disclosed everything properly to you?
Why do you make first of all, happy Valentine's Day. I heart you. Okay.
That was very nice. Oh shoot, I didn't say anything to my wife. Happy Valentine's Day, honey.
You're such a moron. Anyway, beyond that, why do you have to make the opening of the show all about you always? It's always about you. When I'm the other part of this, it's Valentine's Day. I'm the other part of this relationship here. I am the other half of this duo, and you treat me like I don't belong. I don't feel like I have my position and value in this relationship. Happy Valentine's Day,
talk
sweetheart.
About you. Okay, you know what? So apparently I missed
I don't like
something else.
talking about me. I like talking about us. See, that's our problem in this relationship. I say us and you say me. I say we and you say I. See, we need to change the pronouns, change the vocab. What kind of relationship is this?
Don't start
again.
All right, Mark.
If I wanted to be in this kind of relationship, I would get married again.
Mark Zinno yesterday.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yes. Mark Zinno yesterday gave you Montana on the show. I believe that was a client play as well.
The Grizz.
And they won. The Golden Grizzlies. That was the winner. And Mark is going to be telling you later in the show, he has a big 5% play on Friday that I think you all should buy because he is such a great guy. Now, all right, before we get to today's plays, I'll tell you one more thing about me yesterday. I went to Burger King and didn't tell my wife. Okay, there you go. All right, are we happy now? Everything.
Did you bring her back some chicken fries?
No, I didn't. I was very selfish. It was while my daughter was at dance. All right, anyway, let's get to the weekend. So this is Friday.
Yeah, because I tell everybody, we very limited card.
Except there's one play that you should be concerned with. Here, you want me to be about you? You want me to be about us? There's one play you should be concerned about on Friday. Mark Zinno has it at his page, wt.buzz/MZ, a 5% play. You're 5-0 with 5% plays in 2025, are you not?
That is correct, sir.
Pay attention to your page. I have it bookmarked, actually.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a lot of other things that come up when I type in Mark Zinno, but that's a different story for a different day.
All right. Please don't do that.
We are looking ahead to the weekend because it's a limited slate. And there's a lot of big games on Saturday, as you know, Mark.
Huge.
4 top 25 matchups, including number 1 versus number 2. We're going to have a best bet. Our best bet on the show is going to be on that Auburn-Alabama game coming up. I've got another look in the SEC. I think, Mark, that we are going to wind up possibly with as many as 3 unranked teams favored at home against top 25 opponents. So a lot to dissect on Saturday. And you want to start us off early, Purdue and Wisconsin. This is one of those aforementioned top 25 matchups. Maybe the top 2 teams in the Big Ten. I know that is up for debate. How should the fine folks play Purdue and Wisconsin Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS, a channel which I learned yesterday I may not have during the NCAA tournament.
Really? What, are you too cheap to pay for cable?
No, yeah. First of all, it's a network. Okay, if you own a TV, it comes in. But I have YouTube TV. Oh, never mind. I'll still have it because I have the one TV is just like an antenna TV on my wall of TVs. So I'll get it. Never mind. I don't have to be concerned about that. Oh, that's great.
Well, good. That's the one. That's the game I'm going to call you during to watch because that way I won't be 10 seconds in front of you like I always am. When we're on a game together, I'm like, oh yes, you're like, no, nothing's happening. Oh, you're ahead of me. I'm like, yes, stupid streaming services. Anyway, all right. Obviously, we don't have a clear line on what the lines are going to be. I'm going to give you a projected number here for this total between Purdue and Wisconsin, which metrics tell us is going to be around 150. I'll tell you guys, I think this is playable to about 152 of what that number is. If we get something that shoots way above that in the 155, 156 range, I might be a little bit more squeamish here. But again, The projections here tell us that the total will be around 150, 151. Again, I think I would play this to 152, 152 and a half and roll the dice in that range. And the reason why is, look, you got a Purdue team. I kind of think this Wisconsin team is not as good as they should be. But, I've played Wisconsin several times this year, or played against them. Played against them most recently last Saturday with Iowa, when I thought Iowa at home was going to be able to have a better showing. Remember, Iowa had all those injured players. They just couldn't keep up. But that's an Iowa team that has better defense than this Purdue team. The Purdue defense is not great. It's not terrible per se, but this is an offense here that scores 84 points a game at home. Wisconsin can shoot from anywhere and everywhere. They are really competent on the offensive end. They average 81 points a game here. I think the pace in this one is very, very fast. You look at, what Purdue has done outside of that loss in Michigan that they just had earlier this week, a game that Brian Power was on.
Thank you.
The last 4 games for Purdue, regardless home or road, 90, 90, 81, 91. That's the level of their offense here. And again, Wisconsin is the better rested team here. They haven't played since the 8th. So they've been off this whole time on the road, settled in Purdue because of their game after Iowa. They got to Purdue early, and they got to Indiana early, and they've just been sitting there getting ready for this game. So I think that's important that they're going to be able to have rested legs. They'll be able to be good on offense. I just don't see this thing staying under without a really poor shooting performance, and I think that's the way to go. So we look at both of these offenses to do what they need to do here. We'll go over for Purdue and Wisconsin on Saturday.
And over is what he says there with Wisconsin and Purdue. Smash that like button if you agree. Smash that like button if you're happy that I'm going to still have a way to watch CBS come March Madness if YouTube TV does not reach an agreement with Paramount. A lot of companies squaw. That makes me sick. Anyway.
By the way, can I just add one other thing too? Purdue's likely going to be the favorite in this game. If they're going to cover a 4, 5, 6 point spread, that's kind of where the projection of the number is, right? They're not going to do it in a defensive battle. They're going to do it because they keep scoring, right? Like, I think one of the ways this goes under is Wisconsin controls the pace and grinds it down and turns around and goes, yeah, okay, we're going to win this and make this thing a defensive battle. I just don't see that game sort of materializing.
There you go. A little bonus. Mark Zinno just cannot stop sharing his insights on Purdue and Wisconsin, and we thank him for it. I feel enlightened personally. Comment down below with your thoughts on that game. So we talked about there's going to be 4 top 25 matchups. We know that for sure because the rankings are in and they will not change before tomorrow. I mentioned earlier, though, that I think there could be as many as 3 unranked home favorites against top 25 teams. I'm very interested to see what this line is going to be in Missouri at Georgia. Georgia, I think it's going to be right around a pick-em for sure. Neither team will be a decided favorite. Missouri on the road. This is a Missouri team, Mark, that you and I a few weeks ago took to task a little bit. We thought they were a little bit overrated. They do keep covering spreads. They're 9-2, though. ATS, their last 11, off a monster showing. Against Oklahoma earlier this week. And I will toot my horn again. I apologize for this. Remember in December when I told everyone what a fraud this Oklahoma Sooners team was? Look at how they've done since. They just lost by 24 at Missouri. So Missouri's 9-2 ATS, their last 11 games. But they still only have 2 road wins, one of them by a single point, admittedly, at Florida. The other one was a tremendous showing at Mississippi State a couple weeks ago. But I think Missouri slips up tomorrow in Athens in a game Georgia needs to have. Mark, you know the Georgia team very well. The last 2 games, very tough. They lose by 1 at home to Mississippi State. Then they go on the road. This was your $5 play on Tuesday. You took Texas A&M against Georgia. Mm-hmm. You texted me at halftime. And we're quite concerned about how that game was.
I said I was an idiot. No, I told everybody I was an idiot. I was a moron, and I should be flogged.
Okay. Georgia, I believe, was up by 9 at halftime in that game. Yeah, they lost by 16 down in College Station, so a very poor second half. This is a must-win spot for the now. Must-win. We know this, Mark. We are professionals after all. Must-win does not mean will win. However, in this instance, I think it does with the Georgia Bulldogs. Look at who they've got next: Auburn and Florida.
Oh,
If they don't win this game tomorrow in Athens, they could be staring at a 5-game losing streak, and their NCAA tournament hopes could be kaput. So I'm taking Georgia money line. They may be a short dog, but I think Georgia wins the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, situationally, it's a spot. Just remember one thing about when you play Missouri. The bottom line here, when you play against Missouri, is you have to stop them from hitting threes. And that's ultimately what it boils down to beat that team. Because that's where they make their money is at the perimeter. I mean, they're 32nd in the nation in three-point shooting. So this is a team that lives and dies by it. And, oh, by the way, they are number 1 in three-point field goal to field goal percentage, meaning they take the most of them. They're number 2 in the conference in point distribution, that 36% of their points come from the three-pointer. Georgia's got to get out on the defense on the perimeter and be able to lock down. If they do that, they'll have a great chance to win the game.
Georgia's in the upper half in the SEC, looking at Ken Paul. They're in the upper half of three-point percentage defense, allowing opponents to shoot 31.1%. On that note, before we get to today's best bet, and I'll let Mark talk about his 5% play a little bit as well. Campbell yesterday on the show. If you tune into the show, we faded Campbell. I talked about their three-point defense a lot. Dude, what is this team doing? How could they? I actually did. Where's my book? I threw it on the ground. I'm not going to get it. Okay. I went through last night. I'm actually going to grab it right now. It's right here.
Get the book.
I went through last night. Okay. Every conference and wrote down which team was number 1 in three-point percentage defense. I will not slow down this show by reading you this entire list. Oh, there it is. There's the camera. Okay. I'm not going to slow it down. I have terrible handwriting in case you couldn't tell. Campbell is allowing teams to shoot 22.7% from 3 now, because even though Northeastern won, they were 5 of 21 from 3. Mark, there is no other team in America in conference play allowing better than 26.7% from 3. That's 4% for 4 percentage points better than the next best team. To put that number in perspective, the highest percentage of any conference leader is right around 31%. So the gap between them and the second best three-point percentage defense in conference play is as wide as the gap between the second best three-point percentage defense in conference play and the leading and the team with the highest three-point percentage defense that is a leader in conference play. If that all makes sense. The bottom line is this: the Campbell Fighting Camels are due for regression. They are on the Bernie Madoff fraud list. They're playing Delaware tomorrow, and I think Delaware's number 2 in the Coastal in three-point shooting. I think Delaware can win that game.
Is Delaware home?
Yes.
Well, that is a prime spot. You guys have to understand something about Bryan Power, because I've known him for quite a moment now. When Bryan Power gets in his head a statement about a team, regardless of what the statistics are, okay, he will die on that hill for the entire season against that team. Not only that, he will remember what he hated about that team forever. He will tell you about the 1999 St. Louis Rams and what he thought was fraudulent about that team and never forget it, ever.
He used to stock shelves in the grocery store. That's what I remember about the 1999 St. Louis Rams.
But my point is that is you. Even though instead of leaning into the fact that they are very good at shooting at three-point field goals defense, you, like typical you, want to fight against that fact.
So I looked it up. What they do well, because I was astounded at this. They are forcing teams to one of the highest average lengths of possession in the entire country. Like, the only teams that are making you work for shots harder are Duke and Houston. So that's what they're doing. They're making you work, and they're putting up and the opponents are putting up bad threes.
I'll throw this quality shots.
Yes. So that plays a role. I'll say this though. teams are shooting like 56% from 2 against Campbell. So
Oh,
Delaware,
that's what happens when you have 5 guys on the perimeter.
yes. So Delaware, I have a suggestion for you. I'm going to put this in your suggestion box, Blue Hens. Take a few twos.
Just dump it inside. Yeah,
Take a few twos
just
against Campbell. All right.
feed it to the big man.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is your daily Campbell Fighting
should
Camel
coach a team.
update.
We should coach a team. How do you think that team would do?
My dreams was to run a very corrupt college program a few years ago. Cleveland State would be perfect. I was just gonna
I'll coach. You
I
be
was
the
just
AD.
gonna yeah, I was just gonna buy a bunch of players and then and we'd get real good real quick. Okay. And then in the middle of the next season, I would cite family reasons for stepping down and try to get away scot-free. And laid this out at a bar one time. I had
the good old
strangers
days.
in tears. Yes.
Like the good old days when you used to, have to cheat in programs and, pay players under the table. Like in Blue Chips, when Ricky Rowe got a bag of cash and a tractor.
Yes. The tractor.
And Butch
put him
McRae's
over the
mom
edge.
got a house. And Neon Bedeau got a Lexus.
Wow, you talk about me remembering things. That is an incredible recollection of Blue Chips.
Blue Chips is I mean, come on. That was stellar acting by Shaq.
Yes, it was a lot better than Shazam.
She's like, I'll give you $100 if you can name the country directly south of the United States. Mexico, followed by Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Costa Rica. Where's my $100? Great acting by Shaq.
But you're a big movie guy, man. I'll tell you what. All right. I don't know. We need to get to Alabama, Auburn, I think.
Oh, none of those are below Mexico.
No, they're actually north. Not too far north. The state of Alabama is in the south. The SEC, one of the few conferences that is still appropriately named geographically, unlike the ACC, which is teams in the Pacific time zone.
That's more. Texas A&M doesn't belong there. They're way too west.
Number 1 versus number 2, Mark Zinno.
Yeah.
Number 1, it's a big game. These teams don't like each other.
Nope.
We like Alabama at home on the money line. Nate Oates. I once gave Nate Oates coaching advice at the MAC tournament when he was with Buffalo.
Did you?
Yeah, I had been. Yes, I had been drinking. He laughed. So he had already advanced. His Buffalo team had already advanced to the finals. I was watching Kent State play whoever else in the second semifinal, and Kent State's big man was just awful. The guy could not hit a layup. Nate Oates walks by. I had a broken foot, so they actually moved us up into the front row. I'm not making this up. And Nate Oates walks right in front of us. And I was feeling my oats, so to speak. And I say, Coach Oates,
you have oats?
I got a tip for you. Don't cover 45 on Saturday. He laughed.
Okay. Good job.
Just thought I'd share that with the people.
Did he take your advice, though?
They won. They advanced. And you know what? There was a lady sitting next to me laughing. I was thinking to myself, oh, I still got it, huh? Turns out it was his wife because they showed her during the tournament.
Oh. That's great.
That's right. That's how I remember they won because, yes, I said, oh, my God, that's the lady who was laughing next to me.
Yep. All right.
We talk about Alabama. This show's gone off the rails.
I think Alabama's going to win. High volume, shot game, fast paced. I mean, what's not to like here, folks? This really is the kind of game that dreams are made of here, so to speak. And Auburn's biggest challenge is going to be slowing down Alabama, who plays the second fastest tempo in the country and the first fastest tempo in the SEC. So you're talking about the number 1 and number 2 teams in offensive rating in Ken Palm. For Alabama, it's rim or range, right? They're going to keep chucking up threes, and they're going to feed it inside when they have for easy jams. And look, the home court here is going to matter a lot. Obviously, these two teams don't meet again until the final game of the regular season at Auburn, which obviously at that point in time, we're all going to play on Auburn. But this is just a spot here where Alabama continues to assert themselves and continues to push the pace. I mean, in reality, if Alabama's team total sits below 90, I even play that. I don't see them not getting to 90 here. If they don't, it's because they're losing, right? Like that's kind of what the deal is, and Auburn is too good for them not to push the pace and score. Does Auburn try to slow this thing down here, BP? Maybe. But Alabama could certainly speed it up on you very, very quick. So let's just take the Crimson Tide at home. Roll damn Tide, and we will certainly take. By the way, it'll be a 1.5 point spread. We've seen numbers out there already. Just take Alabama money line.
Exactly. I was going to say both DraftKings, FanDuel actually have spreads up for this one already. Alabama's -1.5. Mark talked about the offensive numbers for both teams. The total is 172.5, that's quite large.
Insane.
So it should be an exciting game. And we think the Crimson Tide are coming out ahead when they're hitting their threes, Mark. This is a tough team to beat. But before we get to Saturday, one last thing. I'm probably a pass on Friday here. I am traveling, so I will be. I don't like anything today. I will have a large card on Saturday, probably. But you, sir, have a 5% play on Friday. We've talked about 5-0. You are with 5% plays in 2025. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Putting it all on the line.
Give people a happy weekend.
Putting it all on the line tonight, Brian Power. I mean, when there's the bagel in the loss column, you get very, very antsy. And I'm antsy. But I like the spot here tonight. I like the spot. And we're willing to run with it here. I'm telling you, this is one of these plays where, like, when I said it to you, you were like, "Oh, like, really? Yeah." That's kind of one of those plays. So, buck up, put your big boy pants on, and let's go get a 5% winner. That's what we say tonight. All right.
Do it. Pants are on.
/MZ. WT.buzz/MZ.
This is where you can find all of Mark Zinno's selections. And don't forget about that 30-day special, by the way, which Mark is pictured in, despite the fact that you had a problem with the picture on was that Wednesday?
Yes. Put baby in the corner. Right. And I told you nobody puts baby in the corner.
No one puts baby in the corner. We are now, we're not going to be put in the corner because we're both traveling today. So we are out of here. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
I'll be in Florida all next week, baby.
Smoke
warm
that
weather.
This before the show, just to peel back the curtain, we were repositioning my camera and stuff. It's got me all thrown off. I'll be honest with you. I hope I was okay today on the show.
As somebody who is easily thrown off, it's not surprising. You are very easily thrown off.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to throw me off at all. I mean, you can just, the slightest thing happens, I'm off. You're not. For someone to say that. All right, I'm a warm body at least. They need somebody else to talk. It is a 2-person show.
Yes.
So I'm done talking today. Actually, I'm not.
Have a good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Yay.
Right.
There it is. Sloppy Parlay Love.